Chris, thank you for taking a few minutes to talk with me about In a Violent Nature, man. I
Not
appreciate
at
it.
all.
Yeah, I saw the film at Sundance. I really enjoyed it. Took me by surprise. I really walked into it not knowing anything. And I'm curious, what made you want to do a slasher film? I love slasher films personally. I'm not a huge horror fan, but I love slashers. What made you want to tell that kind of story from the slasher's perspective? I think that's a cool idea.
Um, well, I kind of wanted to. I was really inspired by Gus Van Sant's work in the 2000s with Jerry and Elephant and
Interesting.
Last Days, and how he let the characters tell the story at their own pace, and just follow them through environments. I was just really struck by that. But being like a horror kid, I was just wondering like how do we make that how do we can we carry that tone into a horror film? Um and from there I was just going through different like genres and subgenres and realizing that like the slasher is probably the perfect fit for it. It's everything takes the slashers usually take place in their own like very specific unique environment. Especially like a supernatural slasher, like falling into more like the Cropsy or the Jasons or anything like that, where we can uh, don't need to hear them speaking. We can just kind of follow them. And yeah, that's kind of where everything came from.
It's funny when you mentioned Gus Van Sant and Jerry in particular. I'm imagining those long walking scenes of Casey Affleck and Matt Damon, and they were I'm seeing the similarities now. Um, was that doing this kind of film at that pace, which I like the pace, but I know it won't be for everybody. But was that a tough sell? Was that a hard movie to sell?
No, no, surprisingly, it wasn't.
Oh,
I think if you're like taking the movie for what it is and not for like what you want it to be, I think people seem to like just settle right into it, and it's um yeah, I know that it's gonna be there's gonna be some division once once it gets released. I know there is gonna be a contingent of people that think that this is a Friday, like a straight up Friday the 13th, and it's not. It's definitely inspired, definitely has its roots seeped into that kind of world, but it's its own thing.
well, so far there's not been a whole lot of division. Reviews from everybody I know who
Well,
saw
those are the
it.
only ones I remember.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of the question though. I mean, because like all the reviews from, from me, from the people I saw it with at Sundance, have been like really, really like uh praising the film. And do you pay attention to that sort of stuff at all? I mean, you just said that you kind of do, but only the
Yeah.
bad stuff, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. That's definitely it. When we had our premiere, we were very curious. Like we were paying attention a lot more, like during that first week of like, is this like, is anybody like in this movie? And we always felt like we were making it for five people, and then everyone else was just going to be like, it was a real good time to take a nap. But the fact that it has been finding a home with a much larger audience than we thought, it's I find it like incredibly interesting. I don't even know the reason for it. To see like I didn't expect it anyways.
Well, I mean, it's the reason for it is it's a good film when it does something different and we don't normally see. That's the reason why. So there you go.
Well, thanks.
So talk to me about the shoot. Now you shot this in two separate places, right? Or did you? Or am I getting that wrong? Did you shoot in two different places, or did you shoot it twice? I
We
wasn't really sure.
we let's just say a little both. We we shot it in two different places and we shot it twice. Um, yeah, we ended up doing very after our first 4 weeks of like principal photography, what we thought was going to be essentially the entire shoot of the film, and we watched an assembly edit of that. We specifically me, I was just not feeling what I was seeing. And I attribute that a lot to the fact that like I hadn't done a feature before. I'd done a lot of shorts, but it had been quite a while since I'd stepped behind the camera,
Right.
and I was just rusty. And so my vision and just my ability to communicate my thought, my ideas, and my perspective to the crew just wasn't there the first time around. Beyond that, there was also like crazy weather problems and also also like just other behind the scenes issues. Uh, Such as we actually had to recast Johnny during that first block of shooting.
Oh wow.
Our actor fell ill halfway through and had to leave, and we had to recast. And so we were noticing like because we thought it would be easy because we were just throwing somebody in a different in the costume. It's like whatever, you're not really seeing too much, but uh, just the style of the film itself, you kind of like hyper analyze all of the little aspects of the physicality between the two different actors we used. And when we were watching the assembly edit, I was just like, oh, you can tell it's two people.
Yeah.
You're not being sucked into it.
Yeah.
Um, but at that point in time, we spent most of our budget on principal photography, so we had to. So the idea of reshooting it again, which is what I was, just pleaded with my producers to allow. We went back to my hometown. I called in every favor from any friend and family member I could, and luckily, the majority of the cast returned. They were like, "Yeah, let's try this. Let's try this again." And yeah, we reshot it with a smaller crew, a more compact camera package and lighting package, and just went for it.
Speaking of falling ill, have you seen some of the reports of people getting ill at the movie?
Oh yeah, I don't know if I buy any of
Scenes?
that. It's great press. I don't know if I buy
It
any
is
of it.
great press. It is
Yeah,
great press. I can imagine the scene it might be. I mean, there's a
oh
really
yeah.
gnarly kill in this movie that I know I couldn't stop talking about, and a lot of people couldn't stop talking about. I kind of want to know what kind of messed up stuff was going on in your head when you did that scene.
Uh, I mean, I want to say it was not a lot because like everything was very calculated. But then when I'm like everything is very calculated, it seems even
That's just
more
it. That's what
cynical. Yeah,
blows
it
your mind
seems
about
cynical.
it.
Yeah.
Everything is so kind of, like you said, it's calculated, and then you get that, and it's like, well, what was going on right there?
Yeah. Uh, for that one, and for all the deaths, I just wanted to use like the weapons in a unique way, in a way that like only those weapons could be used for. And I also wanted to use the environment as much as I could. Uh, so, there's some deaths that just take place in a specific environment, but that one I was like, I want to use these hooks in a way that these hooks can really breathe. And do something I hadn't seen before. So
There's something I've never had a director say before.
yeah,
Honestly, I think for me, as gnarly as that one is, there's one later on that disturbed me even more, which is just kind of it's just kind of straight on. It doesn't let you look away from it, and it's just like, ugh. But yeah,
yeah.
this movie has a lot of stuff like that in it, and I think people, when a wider audience gets to see it, I think they're gonna be impressed by it. Chris, this has been great, man. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me about the movie, man. And good luck to you when it comes out on May 31st. Thanks, man.
Thanks so much, Travis. Appreciate it.
Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.